say he wrong. How that sound and he still talking.
What up, everybody? It is HeSaySheSay Radio coming to you with episode number 27 virtually. It's your boy Solomon.
What's up, y'all? It's Siobhan J.
It's Uncle Kel.
Hey, it's Jordan.
It's MJ.
And I'm Shadea.
Man, rough last week, man. Rough last week. We had, the hurricanes and everything with Houston and just everybody just kind of, real sad behind that type of stuff. I actually had somebody who passed away in one of the hurricanes that I knew very closely. So that's kind of been on my mind. But another death that kind of shocked the world, Chadwick Boseman, right? Chadwick Boseman passed away unexpectedly for us, but I mean, he had a fight with cancer that he had been fighting for a while now, that only his family knew about because that's kind of the way he wanted it. But it was a sad loss, man. Like, it's something you didn't see coming. So, a lot of people just kind of been down about that because, he brought us some great movies that we, going to be watching for years and years to come with our kids and grandkids and stuff like that. So I kind of just need some of y'all takes on, like, what is it about, like, Chadwick Boseman that kind of, like, stood out to y'all after hearing, like, what he was going through and how he kind of, like, played it safe, or like not played it safe, but kind of played it, like downplayed it to us, to give us all the content that he was able to give us.
I think it's very impressive and it's very motivating to know that he was fighting this. Like, I know whenever he was diagnosed, I think he was already on stage 3 or something I read. So the fact that he kept coming out with these movies and kept trying to be the best actor he could be to show everybody and just, be that Black representation on television. I think that's amazing. And that, because for most people, when you're going through something like that, especially when you're about to pass away, some people, they may shut down and they may stop everything and want to just be around family. But for him, it was like a drive to keep making these movies and to keep showing the world, this is me, or put out as much content as he can to bring us, something to remember him by. So that's amazing. I wouldn't know if I would be able to have the strength to do that. So that's powerful.
Yeah, I think it shows a lot of strength on his part that nobody really knew what was going on. He still was able to put out these movies and play these parts and, just basically showed like such a positive energy with everything that was going on. And it's very motivating because you get to thinking like, dang, well, if he can do this going through that situation and still do all these movies, and we don't really have no excuse to not be able to do what we need to do.
I think that he contributed a lot to the culture within a short amount of time. Like, I know when Black Panther came out, like, everybody came to support. Like, all the Black people came to support. And especially, like, for the kids, just having that Black superhero was, like, really important for them. And, like, when he passed away, a lot of kids were, like, crying because, he really is Black Panther to them. Like, they probably think he's real. So the fact that he's gone, their childhood is, I guess, forever changed. They have to kind of, find a new superhero. There's not many Black superheroes that we have anyway. So it's just kind of like when he passed, it was just like, dang, well, I mean, I know they were supposed to be coming out with, like, I think a new Black Panther movie, but I don't even know if they got to finish that. So, I mean, it took me back, like, especially like with all the other deaths this year and just everything that's going on. It's just the last thing I would have ever expected from him. But I really applaud him for, the way he decided to go out. He didn't want to go out as like a victim or as, like this person with cancer. And I think it's brave of him.
I agree with everybody. How I see it though is that I mean his death and Kobe death has a lot to do with pretty much having a legacy to leave behind when you pass away. So it's like it kind of encourages me to work on something each and every day in order to build or to have this like tower life. You know, that's like what we're trying to do, like building monuments for the future in a way. So like one thing that I can be intrigued about by his death and Kobe's death is that the nation rocked a little bit because of what they left behind after their death. Right? Kobe was, you know, he was Black Mamba. You know, he was always super ambitious about what he do. Um, Chadwick was also the same way. You know, all these movies that he played in spite of the sickness that he had for 4 years, you would never know. You know, the nation never knew what he was going through, but yet they saw his commitment to be the best actor that he can be, bring a whole type of different energy to to Hollywood, period. You know, with the first Black superhero movie. So people idolize things like that. And so really it kind of just encouraged me to you know, work on something new each and every day, you know, while I'm here. So that when I'm gone, people can still cherish what I did and still live on, you know, what I built and left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just like MJ said, that just shows you like it's not an excuse that you have in order, you know, it's not an excuse that's relevant anyway. I mean, a lot of people have them, but you know, he was going through what he was going through, and even like, you know, the people on set didn't even know. It was like strictly family, like directors and other actors and actresses never knew like nothing about what was going on. So it's like it put something in him. I don't know what it was, you know, maybe it was something from him growing up, or somebody, you know, that kind of, you know, spoke to him or inspired him at some point. But it took a lot for him to, you know, do that, because, you know, you're looking at everybody else and, you know, they're in good health and this and that. And it's like, you know, and deep inside you understand like, you know, what I'm going through. But, you know, he was inspired by other people to go ahead and, you know, still do what he said that he was going to do, no matter how he felt, and the countless surgeries that he had and stuff like that. So it's just real inspiring, and I honestly will put him on my list of people who inspire me at this point, knowing that he was able to do what he did at the, you know, even in the shape that he was in. So that's mostly what I got out of it.
I think it truly takes a humble person to like put their personal things aside and still produce something great. Like I guess y'all said, like he's put out a plethora of films, you know, stellar actor. You couldn't even, you know, you wouldn't even be able to tell. And then people made their jokes on social media when he when he posted or whatever, you know, not knowing. And that, like, not to change the conversation or whatever, but that goes into the topic of you never judge somebody because of how they look. You never know what they're going through, you know? He can still put out a great movie that sells great, has high numbers. Internally, though, he's sick, you know what I mean? And so somebody who is humble and actually passionate about their job doesn't let something as major, you know, affect, like y'all said, super inspiring, because I don't know if I'd be able to do it. It's a lot of people out there that, you know, want to have a pity party and want everybody to feel sorry for him. And he, all right, well, you know what? This is what was given to me. We're going to make it happen. You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm.
But then again, I kind of think about it in a way where, you know, he knew his time was, you know, winding down. So it's like he wanted to do as much as he could, you know, before his time was up. And I feel like, you know, that was something that he probably was, you know, going towards as well, not just, you know, doing it because he, you know, said he was going to do it or that's what he wanted to do and stuff like that. But I feel like he wanted to give people not only, you know, Black Panther or you know, the James Brown movie, the Jackie Robinson movie. I don't think that's all he wanted to give them. I think he wanted to inspire them to say, look, okay, I went through all this, even though he's not here to tell it, but it's like, my story is I went through this, this, and that, and I still was able to, you know, present this out of what I was going through. So it's more like, the way I kind of look at it, it's more like him inspiring other people to say, hey, you might be going through this over here, you might be going through this over there, but if you're not dead and if you're still alive and you're breathing, do it. Make it happen, because at the end of the day, you just never know, you know, when it's your last day. So that dude, you know, I salute him. Rest in peace. That's a strong act to follow right there.
Absolutely.
But I'm trying to, I guess, you know, bring the spirits up a little bit. I was reading a tweet from one of our co-hosts, and yeah, and the tweet read something, you know, that a lot of people really don't understand the balance in between. You know, a lot of people go left or right with it, but it stated, you know, when do you, as far as needing to grow up and, you know, not wanting to be in a relationship, or noticing that, you know, you're not wanting to be in a relationship, how does that correlate with each other? Because, you know, some people, you know, you might like somebody and they tell you, well, I'm not really ready for that, this and that. I'm not really, you know, set on commitment right now. And that person will say, oh, well, you need to grow up, or you're still a child, or you're still a little boy or a little girl. You still want to do this and that. How does it correlate, you know, by knowing that, you know, you're not ready for that, and then actually knowing that, you know, I just need to grow up, basically?
I think we should get the ladies' input first, because, you know, they had so much to say on Twitter. So now's the moment to speak.
Your time to shine.
I mean, I don't see a problem with it, honestly. I mean, I think it's everybody's path is different, and everybody goes through different stages in life. And I think it's actually having a level of maturity if you can come to terms with you're not ready for a relationship. I mean, I don't think that being in a relationship makes you grown, per se. So it's just kind of like, a lot of people don't need to be in relationships. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of like pressured on us to be in a relationship and do this and that and be grown. But I mean, a lot of people need to heal and work on themselves, first of all. So, I mean, honestly, there is no correlation between that, because it's like, I mean, everybody is doing something different. As long as you can explain to the person that, you know, you're talking to or you're with that you're not ready for a relationship, then how is that being immature?
I feel the immaturity that people try to bring about on the situation probably comes from selfishness. They're immature. That's immature because you think it is, if that makes sense. Like, this person isn't ready for this relationship because, like Jordan said, you never know what their past entailed or whatever. But because that's what you want, or that's because that's something that you want to see with this person, then it becomes, oh, them being childish, they're not growing up. Well, maybe you're not the step that they want to take right now, or they're still evaluating if this is something that's going to be healthy for them. Now, I get when people relate to growing up, whatever. Now, I take that as if somebody's just being childish, playing the same old games, or just whatever. They're just not taking people seriously, or taking whoever they are partnering with at the moment seriously. Okay, then you need to grow up. You need to work on some things in regards to a relationship. But if you just not ready because you know yourself, you evaluated yourself, and you know this is something I'm not going to be able to stay in or uphold, then that's not childish. To me, that's mature.
See, I'm going to tell you what
We saving the best for last. She over there pointing up her finger.
So the tweet said, what do you do when you got a good girl, right? And
Not ready.
you really don't feel like that you're ready for a relationship, right? So people was quoting it saying, oh, well, you need to grow up and get ready. Well, see, it's no way in hell that niggas can just flip this script like, oh.
If you really want to, you can, though. That's
no.
How you
If
gonna
you truly know to yourself that you are not ready for a relationship, right?
No, I'm saying like
It don't matter the person.
You said flip the switch. If you really want that person, you're gonna do what you gotta do to get that person. You expect them to just wait around for you to figure it out.
But see, here's the problem. Y'all think that we talking about being out here in the field and stuff. No. Because a lot of dudes, we want to be put together to where we could provide the best thing that we can for you before we get into a relationship, right? So y'all thinking of it as, oh, he just out here wild and he need to grow up. No, we trying to get ourselves together. You got a business, you trying to get your business together and stuff like that before you get into a relationship. I don't see the problem with that. I don't see where growing up has to do with that. And I don't see how, oh, even so this is the right person. Well, I'm gonna just get into a relationship with them and I'm gonna build on myself later. Like, nah, that's not how that works.
True. And a lot of women think men, when they say they need to get ready for a relationship, they think he's pretty much still in that boy stage. It's some niggas out here that's really not ready for that type of commitment. So really they just in a I say a gray area on how can I pretty much be or reach my full potential in being a man before I actually, be in partnership with somebody. Some girls think like, he's still a hoe, he's still in, so it's like hoe state, he need to grow up. When sometimes it's not even the case. Now it is some niggas that they just still want to be a hoe, and some dudes like to communicate that they're not ready for a relationship when y'all already did what y'all had to do. So now I feel like you wasted their damn time. And one thing that girls ain't got time for is to wait on a nigga to get himself together, when in reality
that's it. That's the one. That's the tweet.
When in reality, you just haven't really just actually grown up. You still, bullshit.
I think that you gotta have that communicated beforehand. But here's the problem with a lot of women.
Don't do that. Yeah. Hold on now.
Certified. Here's the problem with a lot of women. A lot of women, they'll say, okay, you're not ready for a relationship. Cool, fine and dandy. We can just chill. Now, for most dudes, well, some dudes, right? It's a lot of us out here that just naturally are nice people. Right? And so now you thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, like he doing all this for me and we doing this and we doing that. Well, obviously he wants a relationship. But no. Let's go back to 2 months ago when I said specifically that I was not ready. Right?
Let's talk about it because I got some
Let's talk about it because
don't do the relationship stuff if you're not ready to be in a relationship.
What is relationship stuff?
That gets confusing.
What is it?
Relationship stuff?
You mind her all this stuff. Maybe you talking to her a little sweet. I don't know how it works.
To me, it don't matter if you're doing relationship stuff or not. You can't. No. Listen.
We agree.
Somebody on. No, it's not.
Because first, we never had a definition of what we were. So now you judging me for the definition you had in your head about what we are. Not you out of order.
No, that's not how that works.
Okay,
like,
it's not. It's not.
Yes, it
okay.
is.
Cool. We not in a relationship, so we not gonna do none of that stuff. We just gonna kick it, and that's it. That's what you just kicking it. That's not no relationships. Yeah, you're gonna do that in a relationship too, but just kicking it, no strings attached. Maybe we talk every now and again, cool, whatever. But we talking every day. We going out. You buying stuff. That's leading somebody on. Eventually, they're like,
no, it's not, because if you sign a contract,
it is.
I'm about to hang up.
Sign a contract, and then you try to do something differently. You already signed the contract.
I'm about to hang up.
Okay, no, because you agree on that in the beginning.
Yes.
And then, cool, let's just say some feelings come about
That's
on both sides. I'm not saying that's, whatever. So at that point, you start, I guess, maybe getting attached or closer to that person. Then y'all need to talk about the situation or circumstance. You don't need to just keep on going with it, because then that's when people get led on. That's when it's like, I'm not feeling it, or, oh, so what are we? That's where all that starts to come about. And then y'all want to bring up the whole, oh, well, we established this 6 months ago at this point. When at this point, I mean, you probably got the girl thinking, yeah, maybe you want to,
I'm the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I done already said.
Don't think nothing that you ain't clarified with me.
You know what?
Thank you.
Fucking off.
Preach on it, Kelvin. I want to hear Kelvin.
Don't do it.
If your logic is that way, like, I just think that's very inconsiderate. Like, how are you going to say, well, we had already established this, and at this point, it's a link. Let's say the time is longer than the 2 months. Okay.
A long-term situationship.
Me personally, I don't give a damn what's going on. If we haven't communicated and it came to understanding about what we doing in a relationship, because I mean that is what relationships require, right? Communication and understanding. So we haven't communicated about it, and we don't have an understanding about what we are, then we are not anything.
Communication, understanding, and agreement.
Go play with somebody.
Oh, that's the key word. Because a lot of these girls be in relationships, but single.
And that's why it's very important to ask somebody, do you have a girlfriend, and are you somebody's boyfriend?
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
not that.
Y'all would like a nigga, and the nigga would say, "Hey, listen, I don't really want none of that right now." And y'all say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this," and then all of a sudden it's, "Oh, I've been doing all this girlfriend stuff for you," but no, I didn't ask for that.
Why don't you end it then?
That's different.
We didn't have no agreements.
Why didn't you end it then?
Why would I end it?
Why do you keep on going?
I didn't want that.
If y'all are not on the same page, then why allow it?
Women could end it too. You could stop the whole relationship act too. It's a bad part on both parties to me. Like, shit, you could have stopped and he could have stopped at the end of the day.
Communication needs to be set there. Mm-hmm. Communication needs to be set. But I do agree with leading on. I do agree with that strongly. Like Shadea said, don't do all of this little stuff here and there, because then we're confused.
But what if that goes into
nice? Communication does need to be had. And for me, I'm the type of person to look, so what are we doing? What's going on? I need to know. I need some reassurance. But sadly, not all women are like that. Not all men are like that. So I just feel like it's everybody's responsibility to watch what you do. Like, if you know that, like, you're not taking it seriously with this person, or you not ready for a relationship, or you not ready, but you know that person is, like, take it upon yourself to take a step back and not put yourself in that position to where she or he feel like, oh, this is going somewhere. And then a few months later, I already told you that I didn't want no relationship. But we've been doing okay. Now,
as long as if he told you before that even happened, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No matter what y'all been doing.
Say for instance, me and such started talking. Bet before we even did anything. Hey, listen, I'm not in a mental space or occupationally ready for a whole relationship. So before we even get into anything, know that. Bet. So, say for we still kicking it, we still cool. And then she she thinks he leading her on, but he's really not, and he already communicated to you that he's not ready for a relationship. Now you criticizing him and judging him for all the things that he did in spite of him saying that he's not ready for a relationship, and now you're mad because of the acts that he did when clearly he told you in the beginning.
10 out of 10 guys don't do that.
Who? 10 out of 10?
They don't.
I'm going to say 10 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
No, I know.
9.5.
I would say like 5 out of 10.
Fellas out here real life telling people that they're not ready for a relationship, and
But
then
see-
the girl still gets pissed off.
But here goes this. Here goes y'all say, or let me just say, guys say, I'm not ready for a
Them niggas.
relationship. Huh? Right.
Them
Woman,
niggas.
like, I'm not ready for a relationship, but they don't want you to go and, you know, do your own thing. You, what am I supposed to do? Stay right here, right? You over here, stop bopping around.
First of all, the thing is this. I'm pretty sure the only reason that might be the case today, the only reason that might be the case is if that's not communicated beforehand. So if I tell you, hey, I don't really want no relationship, I'm not ready for that, we can just, you know, either you can go two ways with it. Either you can go the way as far as, hey, you do your thing, I do my thing, and, you know, when we have time, we, you know, I don't want to say it though in a way where it sounds bad, but it's like you do you, I do me, and when we together, we do each other as far as like our vibe. So that's me giving you permission to, hey, do what you got to do, what you feel is, you know, the right thing for you to do, or what you feel you have to do on a day-to-day basis. I'm gonna do what I do. Now, the second way we can go about it is, I'm not ready for nothing serious. Let's just cakewalk it, and then we'll see how that goes. Now,
Yeah, I mean, that's usually
how
what
that
they
goes.
say. They say, like, we'll see where it goes.
Whole bunch of
They
talking.
won't say, you know, they not looking for nothing.
But wait, we'll see how it goes. Listen, this I'm gonna put y'all on some game. I'll put y'all on some game real quick.
Hold on. Let me put the TL on game too.
Because we'll see how it goes is equivalent to I'm not ready right now.
I agree.
Now, when we
Right.
say that, we're saying, listen, I do want to date around and see if I like you, see who I like, right? And we're gonna see how this goes, right? That is communicated. I don't see nothing wrong with we'll see how that goes. Or we'll see how this goes. Now, Shadaya, what you said, I blame that on women. Because why would you mess with a dude who says, hey, listen, I'm single, but you in a relationship with me, like, you can't do nothing, but I can do whatever. Why not cut them off?
Exactly. If you decide to stay, you the fool.
Fool.
Now,
Now
Boo-boo.
now you signed this contract.
exactly. And your ass is on the leash by this nigga words. Now you walking controlled by this nigga who said you can't do shit. And you
He
get
can
mad
do whatever
at
he
him.
wanted. You can't do nothing because you still
Exactly.
fucking with him.
And you get mad at him when he finds somebody.
I cannot relate.
Are we lying?
It happens. I've seen it before.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen it, but it's not me.
We're not talking about one. We're talking about majority.
My thing is, bro, if I tell somebody I'm not ready for a relationship and you decide to not mess with me anymore, cool. You showing me that you're immature and you're selfish, and you really not ready for a relationship.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Bro,
Obviously, you're not understanding.
That's immature and selfish because you.
Oh,
That's the
how am
person.
I immature and
That's
selfish?
got nothing to do with me.
Right.
No,
You're
no,
missing
no,
out.
listen,
on
listen.
this.
If I'm genuinely not ready, right?
Bye. What do you mean? Like, I mean, I don't understand why. How is that person selfish? You want them to wait around?
No, shit. If you wait, no. Let me put it to perspective. If I tell you, now let me get it through. If I tell you, I'm gonna need y'all tag team. If I tell you, you got me.
Yeah.
If I tell you that I'm not ready, right? And you decide to be like, okay, the hell with him, and go on about your business. It does display that you are immature about relationships, period. Because at the end of the day, how do we even get to that point to where I'm telling you that I'm not ready for a relationship?
That's not immature if she doesn't want the same things.
Fuck that. If it tells me,
Here's my thing.
it tells me that at some point in us communicating, we actually kind of got to an intimate point to where I'm telling you why is there a reason that I'm not ready to be in an intimate relationship with somebody, or even you. Therefore, if you criticizing me for not being ready and you don't know what the reason is, then it tells me that you're not even ready for something
Yourself, because at the end of the day, if I'm gonna sit here and tell you, hey, I'm not ready for a relationship, you have every right to ask me why. You do. So if I decide to tell you why, maybe your response to my why can be the reason that makes me ready for you.
What's the next topic?
But look, but I want to ask y'all this. What happened to all this? I give the same energy you give me. What happened to that? So if I'm giving you this level of energy, don't give me this. Give me this. And then we can see if we go here or we can see if we go here. Don't, if I tell you, hey, I'm not really ready for this and that, that's really me putting you on the medium level at that point. Maybe even lower than that. So don't come at me with the highest energy you got when I'm not even giving you that in the first place. Keep that same energy y'all been tweeting about and snapping about and all this. Keep that same energy the whole time. And we won't have this problem.
I just want to understand something.
I agree.
What do you want to understand?
So,
I got all day.
I just need to clarify. So if you tell a girl, I'm not ready to be in an intimate relationship, I'm not ready to be in a relationship with you, none of that, what would you like her to do? Stay around until you get there, or she can go elsewhere?
I feel like,
because obviously that's
as
not
a
the same
woman,
thing.
she should be understanding.
Right.
If she likes me enough to want to be in a relationship with me, then she should like me enough to know that I want to make sure that I'm a good enough man. So when I get with her, that it's going to be good, that I'm not going to have a lot of men, you know, we deal with things like in life, you know, lust and other things like that. And we need to know that we're good, we're straight, right? We're going to be okay enough to where when I'm with you, you're the only person I'm thinking about. My money is right enough to where I can afford a relationship. I have the time, right? You need to make sure all of that stuff is good. I feel like she should be understanding. Now, if you go and just hop on the next dude who just happened to be ready for a relationship at the same time as you, then did you really mess with me like that?
Okay, I see where you went there. Now, on to the next thing. So she needs to be understand if she likes you enough. Cool. What is happening then? Are y'all just continuing to get to know each other, moving slow? I get that, because it ain't because to see where things get blurry at is, okay, the female or the male, they think, okay, you're just not ready. We can continue getting to know each other. We can continue moving forward and doing, you know, whatever. But where people get a little upset about, or where problems happen, is you have one person that's just out here, or one person that's just doing whatever they want to do. When they said they're not ready for a relationship, okay, I give you that, but don't be out here showing yourself around when I'm sitting here where that person may have been ready for a relationship. So don't be out here doing all of this different stuff, and it's like, okay, then they think, why did I wait around when you just gonna do what you want to do anyway?
Well, I will break it down to you though.
Okay.
During that time you were waiting around, right? We were getting to know each other, right?
Know somebody else too? Or?
Meaning, but see, Shadaya, here's the problem, and this is y'all's problem, right?
I'm ready for this to end.
Because y'all want to put strings on single, right? So you can't be waiting around and just, like, he shouldn't be doing nothing. I hope he's not talking to other girls. I hope he's not doing this. I hope he's not doing that. You could be doing the same thing, because we can't be mad if y'all doing the same thing, right? Nobody's telling y'all to sit at the house bored while we out here doing what we doing, right? That's y'all. Nobody said, oh, I'm ready for a relationship, so I'm just gonna sit at the house while he's out here doing this and this. No, you don't have to do that. You could be out.
Yeah.
Doing your thing too.
Exactly.
I think it's a maturity thing. I'm not even gonna front, because like Yeah, you
Yeah.
can be out doing your own thing, but that does not please everybody. Like you go
That is
out,
not it.
please everybody. You go out, you do your thing. I'm not gonna be out in the streets trying to talk to whomever talks to me because I'm waiting for somebody else to figure out when they want to be in a relationship with me. That doesn't give me pleasure out here having a bunch of niggas in my phone because I'm waiting for one. Like, no.
Here's our problem again.
How you going? You know what?
Yours
Communication. Communication.
Here's the problem. Y'all have a time limit on when y'all plan to be in a relationship with somebody. So a lot of women be, oh well, if we talking for 3 months, then we should be in a relationship. No, because if you take relationships serious, then you really, really want to get to know that person before y'all even get into a relationship, right? If he or she if they feel like they haven't gotten to know you enough within 3 or 4 months, give it a little bit more time.
Yep.
Look at her face. Look at she one of them 3 months talking, we in a relationship.
No.
As long as you ain't talking to nobody else.
My thing is, okay, cool. You establish what you are. We just, kicking it. So at what point is it like, all right, you know what? I'm ready to get to know you and only you and nobody else. Like you.
When we communicate that it's that time.
Communication.
So what would you guys consider like relationship goals in your 20s?
There is none. I mean, when you think about it, like who here has been in a successful relationship? Like we don't even know what it even really means to be in a relationship.
Still figuring it out.
Like
what
we
is a
don't
successful
even
relationship?
fully know ourselves. So how are we gonna know what another person needs? And then like at this point, like we're very selfish, we're very into ourselves and figuring out what we want. So I mean, I feel like it's a learning experience, like dating in your 20s.
It's hard.
It's like a learning experience because you're not gonna know what to do and you're gonna mess up a lot of the time. So
we really don't even know ourselves yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, we don't probably even know what we really like. So now we're dating around just to see what we like. And then what ends up happening is you try to solely focus on dating this one person and I'm going to do anything and everything to make this work because I want a successful relationship. When you're 21, 20 years old, that might not even be what you like.
Right. Or that might not even be the person that you end up with. I feel like in your 20s,
that's just your lesson.
Yeah,
At the same time,
you got to keep an open mind in your 20s. Anything.
At the same time, I feel like that's not. Some people use that as an excuse to, like, just be in and out of relationships.
Exactly.
Cool, because I mean,
that's why you need to do the longer dating stage.
Yeah, how can you learn something when you just hopping from relationship to? At the end of the day, you're really not even learning shit because if you was, you would take that time away from even thinking about relationships and actually know what it is that you want, know what it is, what you like, then go into a relationship, not with expectations, but with telling your partner what your desires at the end of the day. I feel like expectations ruin relationships because them hoes really built off fears from past relationships. New relationships saying, hey, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. When really, it's not that you don't like it, it's just something bad that happened to you and that you don't want to happen again. Oh shit, damn, that was good.
That was great.
That was good.
You did that. You did.
Keep the tension down. Don't bring shit to me that you had before. I don't want to hear it. But just to mellow it down a little bit before we, end this all together. A lot of people, and when I say people, I'm speaking, as far as millennials, we have a time frame that we should be doing this and be doing that and have this much money, this car, this house, or stuff like that. But we really need to set, goals for ourselves in order to get to where we, want to be instead of, taking the biggest step that we think we can find to get there. So what is something or some goals that, you know, by the end of your 20s, you would like to say, you know what, I successfully did that and accomplished that, and I'm ready to move on to the next?
That's a good one.
I mean, I'd say one of the easiest things you can do and learn to do is just build your credit. I mean, I think there's so much information out there on how to build your credit, or you can even pay someone to help you build your credit or whatever it is. But I think that building your credit is one of the most important things you can do, and it will set you up for your future big time. Also, saving, just learning how to budget your money, like, you know, try not to spend too much. Like, I know I spend a lot of money on food, and if I could actually, like, you know, buy groceries more and like cook more, I would probably save a lot more money. So I think just saving through your 20s and trying to like pay off debt is like huge. Like, I don't want no car note. You know, I don't want no, it's just certain bills that I just don't even want to deal with. Or I just want to have like extra streams of income to cover those certain bills so I don't have to think about it. Because there's so many other things that you want to try to do in your 20s, like travel and, you know, just have fun. So I think just trying to eliminate as much debt as you can will like help you in the long run, especially like, you know, when you get into a marriage, you know, their debt becomes your debt. So you need to like, that's important too. And so I think just like certain things to like basically prepare yourself for like marriage and kids and, you know, just life in general is important.
Yeah. I think like what Jordan said, I think in my 20s, back then I would say, oh, like I want to, you know, make sure I have a good job, make sure all of this and da da da. But honestly, I just want to make sure that I find wisdom. Wisdom meaning I've experienced, I learned what decisions to make in certain situations. Like, I want to be able to go through what I needed to go through to groom me to become a better person, a more confident person, a more wiser person, intellectual person, whatever the case may be. I feel like your 20s is the time to experience things that can really, you know, set up how you make decisions later in your life. Whenever you do, you know, get married or have kids, you know, things like that, like different things to shape your overall character. I think after my 20s, I want to be able to at least establish a good amount of that. I know you still have experiences to go throughout the rest of your life, but your 20s while you're single, technically, because ain't no ring on fingers, but you know, really just find yourself. That's a big goal.
Nah, I mean, personally, bro, I feel like one thing like millennials and 20-year-olds have to understand is that we need to stop letting the world teach us how to be average. Like, I hate it with a passion when people be like, you're 20, you're young, live a little bit, you know, go have fun. That's cool, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you're up on your finances. You need to be investing in things, setting up Roth IRA accounts and mutual funds and stuff like that. Don't wait until you're 40 or something years old when things will pretty much be at a higher expense for you to start actually investing yourself into a lot of things. First, because your life expectancy has decreased, for one. Mm-hmm. Things will be a lot more expensive because you're a lot more older. So now you're increased liability, which a lot of people don't understand because they were so dumb at 20 years old and earlier to where they wasn't really educated about things like this. So use this 20s to invest more, take your finances serious. Like Jordan said, get your credit right, making sure that your debt to income ratio ain't out of the world to where you can't even apply for a loan and get money, or you can't even get approved for an apartment and you want a house, you want a car, you want a lot of things like this in our 20s. We got to take serious and stop letting this new world tell us that 20s you're supposed to be just living and, yeah, you're supposed to be living, but also take things serious, because what you want to do is get off to a great start. A lot of 20-year-olds ain't getting off to a great start. And we the millennials, bro. Like, we wasn't called to be traditional. We was called to be set apart. And so a lot of people not even practicing that at an early stage in their life. And then when they reach 40, 50, and 60, you still working and still trying to build your 401k to retire. And when in actuality, 401k ain't enough to retire at 50 years old.
Mm.
And shit, you could be working till you 80 years old. And so now you lived a miserable life because you was bullshitting in your 20s. When people try to put you on, dead ass. People trying to put you on, but yet you wasn't taking it serious, and you was still trying to, live a little bit. You was focused
Right.
on
I like that. I like that. I would agree with Solo. And I would also say, like, for me personally, I feel like I'm using my 20s to try to create a balance in life, right? Trying to create balance and trying to learn how to respond to adversity. So one thing about the 20s is we know this is a hard age. Like, we going through a lot right now. Like, some of us don't have jobs. Some of us got low-paying jobs. Some of us in school. Some of us said F school. It's just a lot to deal with at this age. And also, we have a lot thrown at us at a young age too, right? So I feel like trying to create a mindset of how to deal with that, and also being able to balance. You still want to, you do like me. I have my fun. I'm a party hard, but I'm a work harder, right? To where I know my finances are there, and to where I can do the things that I need to do, but I can also not look back when I'm 50, 60 and be like, damn, I wish I would have had some fun in my 20s. No, I'm going to have my fun, but I'm also going to make sure everything is taken care of. And I think a lot of us at this age, it's like a balance beam. So some of us having too much fun, right? And some of us really, really super, super serious, which is cool, but you only gonna be at this age for so long, right? And we all got parents and grandparents who, when they talk about the old days and how they wish they could get that back, you do have to live a little, but you need to work harder than you living.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
want to
agree.
make sure, like, now in my 20s, I want to make sure I am enforcing the right steps to, one, break generational curses, and two, making sure that I'm a better me for the future me. Or like like right now, like something as small as me going to the gym every day. I'm making sure that I'm implementing a healthy lifestyle for me, for my future kids, and stuff like that. Like make sure I'm every day, like, I try to do something that's helping me in the long run, not just temporarily.
I feel it.
Good.
Everybody says some pretty nice things, and everything we said, hopefully our listeners are, gravitating towards it, and understanding that, life is, we're not in a rush. Let's just get that straight. We're not in a rush. We're not, trying to beat the next person at this or that. We got to run our own race and keep our own pace. So that's the show.
No, I was just gonna say with this, I think it's interesting how like the older generations kind of, I feel like they're kind of hard on us, I guess, just because we do certain things differently than they did. But at the end of the day, I feel like we as a generation take more risk than they did. They kind of played it, simple, played by the rules. And I feel like in this life, like, you can't play it safe if you want better than average. Like, if you don't want to live mediocre, then you're gonna have to take some risk. You're gonna have to do some things that other people are not doing. You're gonna have to make some sacrifices. And I feel like that's one of the things I'm learning, being, a millennial, a young person in this world. And because certain people played it safe most of their life, they are way where they are now, you know, with like no savings or like working, you know, working at Walmart, and no disrespect or anything like that to those people, but it's just kind of like, you know, that's what happens when you know, you just kind of like let life just take you wherever. I feel like you have to be in control of your life and not let life control you in a way. So, yep, that's it for this show. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure you follow us on Instagram at HeSaySheSay Radio, and also follow us on Twitter at HeSaySheSay Crew. We'll see you guys again on the next one. Bye.